Good day, everyone. As already you said, my name is Davron MUKHAMADIEV, and I represent International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent in Russia. Later on, we will talk what is the Red Cross and Red Crescent, how you understand these titles. And now I would like to thank to organizers for inviting me here and to have an opportunity to speak with you, to talk about very important issues that, let's say, we will touch during my presentation. I understand that during last 10 days you become very tired already, and we will try to be interactive in our discussion. First of all, I would like to ask from you, of course, would be good if we could introduce to each other more closer, and of course to not lose time, just to tell which countries you represent in this audience. Okay, very good. Okay, excellent. Okay, okay. Very good. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Very good. What else? Yes, we already saw in Nigeria. 2 people here. Okay, very good. Okay. Spain. Excellent. Very good. Good geography. And I think when we will talk about different subjects of my presentation, let's say like that. If you have some examples, some case studies from your experience in your particular countries, please don't hesitate. Just say that to explain and to present what your case related to the subject, okay? Okay, very good. Title or topic of my lecture today, I don't so like title of lecture, even I'm in my previous life I was a teacher of university. I'm doctor by profession, psychiatrist. Then you can ask any questions related to psychiatry, but maybe after lecture, yes, if you're interested. And I prefer just interactive discussion, and please, when we see this title of presentation, what ideas you have regarding to crisis and emergencies and humanitarian consequences of these events? Please, what kind of ideas you have? What is the crisis, what is emergencies, what is humanitarian consequences? Please. Okay. Okay. Ecological, very good. Conflicts. Which kind of conflicts? When you have some arguing with your relatives and parents, is a conflict or not? Or more wider? Civil conflict, okay. Any other ideas? In general, you describe most of it, and when we talk about crisis, when we talk about emergencies, we talk about very specific situations when life of person go beyond the normal life. Yes, any kind of situations. And what kind of situations you already indicated. This is actually that you already mentioned, that some event or some situation which extraordinary for a normal person, for people. It can be, as you said, conflict, wars, environmental, ecological situations, and such kind of socio-economical crisis, etc. Yes? And actually, as a Red Cross, Red Crescent person, I will say on behalf of persons who experience these kind of situations, in addition to the situations that extraordinary and not every day we face with this kind of situations, we mostly talk about people who every day can face this kind of crisis or emergency situation because it is related to their personal life. For example, if a person in some countries part of national minority and the external environment not so friendly, every day this kind of situation can accompany this person. Or in some cases, when a person is HIV positive, it can be also a negative perception, negative reaction from surroundings. Yes? That's why we have emergencies that related to concrete situations on more wider level and in more concrete particular case. Okay? Of course, when we're talking about emergencies or crisis situations, we never talk about single case. Who have cats, animals at home? If something happened with your cat or dog, is it emergency for you? Yes, but only for you, not for others. Yes? Everything that related to individual, yes, for individual life is emergency situation, but we talk mostly about more wider situation when concrete group of population, concrete categories of people under special circumstances. Okay? And this is more wider definition. When usual conditions of dignified life destroyed. This is our usual everyday activities. We living, we have relatives, we have parents, we have friends, we have our home, and we have our, let's say, universities or where we're working, some job, etc. And in some day, all these things destroyed. Because of different situations that you already described, yes? And it can be different factors, or man-made, or natural disasters, yes? When we talk about disaster, we are talking not only about natural disasters. It's more wider conception. And this is what you already told. Yes, first of all is a technogenic. Any kind of accidents, industrial sites, household fires, gas explosions, road accidents, which we usually used to know, but we never say that road accidents is something extraordinary. But in road accidents, a lot of people suffering, a lot of people dying, and if we look to the statistics, it's approximately to the military conflicts, the number of people who died during the road accidents, air crashes, and as you said, environmental, yes, different kind of situations related to ecology, that destroying daily life of person. And social, as here was said by you, social situations like violence-based conflicts, violence at home and streets, terroristic attacks that we every day receiving now information from different mass media, transborder problem between countries, migration, we will talk about migration later, and social economic situations like poverty, unemployment, drug addiction become now biggest problem. This is actually type of crisis situation, type of emergencies. And we will talk about consequences. What kind of consequences can have this kind of situations? Can you give some examples? Please. Okay. Other ideas? Sorry? Please repeat. Okay.
Revolution, schools.
Yeah, revolution in general, this is a type of, let's say, socially related event. Actually, please think what kind of consequences, we're talking about humanitarian consequences, yes? What kind of humanitarian consequences for concrete person? Hunger, okay. Okay. Illness, okay. Homeless. Sorry? Poverty. Okay, actually all these things that you mentioned is a basic conditions for our daily life. What we are doing in a daily basis. For example, please explain what you are doing. You wake up. Where you wake up? At your bed. Then you have to sleep somewhere, yes? You have home, you have your bed, your room, then you're waking up. Then you have to eat something. And you're going to have a breakfast. This is a normal thing, and even you are not thinking about it. This is a normal for you, yes? Then you eat something, and then where you go? Work or study. You're going to university, you're going to your office or somewhere, then you have money to pay transport, you go there, you meet friends, excellent, yes? Then something happened with your health. Some pain, some headache, what you do? You're trying to have some tablets, some, I don't know, UPSA, etc. Or you go to doctor. And doctor prescribe you something and everything okay. Then, and at evening, after you study or work, you freely can go to see your friends, to have cup of tea, coffee with them, to chat, to socialize, to go club, disco, etc. Yes, this is a life which normal person used to see. And in crisis situation, person lose everything. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that in one day, everything that now we describe, person lose? And with this kind of situation, what additional consequences can appear in addition to what we said? Okay, unclearance of situation, yes? Unpredictancy of situation. Please, you wanted to say something else, no? And if you don't have clear vision what will be tomorrow, after tomorrow, etc., what it will create? Depression, stress, psychological, mental stress. This is actually main factors what we're describing as a humanitarian consequence. This is cycle of emergency. If we see all issues that we now discuss indicated here, and very important that, first of all, in addition to our, let's say, personal perception of this crisis situation, we have, in addition, many factors that related to, for example, not personal but more wider factors like destroyment of all infrastructure of this or that place. Now, everybody of you have telephones in your hands. You have internet in your hands. You immediately can chat with your friends in other corner of the world. What happened if tomorrow or now we will lose internet or telephones? What happened? This is real crisis now in modern world, yes? But you can imagine that now million and million people don't have communication with their relatives. This is a real situation what we are also trying to resolve. First of all, as we said, it is an unpredictable situation. Yes? House outside, around, and house in our minds. People very often not ready to this kind of situations. And then, of course, they become more vulnerable. Communication facilities, as we said, fully destroyed. No telephone, no internet, no television, no radio sometimes. Because when conflict happened, for example, or big disasters, authorities immediately switching off all these facilities because of security. And as we said, affected people, most of affected people or missed or died or injured in the hospitals, clinicals, sometimes completely, as we said, social infrastructure destroyed. When earthquake was in Haiti in 2010, whole infrastructure of the state was destroyed. Even president office was affected at that time. And you can imagine that which structures should overcome it, which structures have to help people. That's why in our understanding, when states cannot provide this kind of assistance in the situation of different type of crises, then who should help people? International organizations, because when states, of course, first of all, it's responsibilities of states. If person is citizen of this or that state, authorities responsible for all these basic conditions. And of course, if state don't have any possibilities, capacity to do it, then of course, international organizations should respond and should assist. Okay? If any questions to each particular topic, please ask. Then challenges. A lot of challenges, traditional challenges, new challenges now we faced during last 10-15 years. And first of all, challenges related to natural disasters. During last 30 years, number of disasters increased for 50 times. 50 times more we have disasters now than 30 years ago. And the capacity, yes, please. Sorry. Reasons of what? Increasing of, because of climate change. And we will see the change, climate of the weather everywhere in the world is changing. When river was in one level, then it's become another level. When there was storms, when there was droughts, etc., etc. And governmental structures of other responsible agencies should be more reactive to overcome This is the main reason. Rapid urbanization. Now more and more people would like to live in the big urban centers than in the rural area. And now more than 1 billion population living in urban area in very unlikely conditions. Because they come, they don't have any kind of conditions to live, etc. And migration and refugees, of course. About migration, we talk a lot, and we have a lot of mass media information every day. And of course, a lot of speculations now about migration. Some positive reactions, some negative reactions of population. And because of migration and refugees, we always, when we talk about conflicts and wars, we're immediately talking about refugees and migrants. Yes? And of course, people in violence, mostly people who are living in the situation of crisis. Nature of crisis become different. If we see how was the conflicts, wars 50 years ago, what kind of wars we had? Can you explain what is the difference between wars 50 years ago and now? What changed? Please. Okay, different type of weapons. Development of IT technologies. Well, can you explain to others what is the hybrid? Do you know the hybrid wars? They announce, first of all, they announce. State A, I am state B. Tomorrow I start war. War will be in this place. I attack you. Now what we have? If any state announcing war to us,
No.
then how we understand that war started? Pressure. Okay. And in addition to it, it is now terminology, yes? Arab Spring, I don't know, other springs, etc. Can you explain some more details about the springs factor, let's say? Please. Okay, then nature of conflict become different, yes? If before it was more, let's say, international conflicts when two states between each other conflicting, now it's become more internal, yes? And in this relation, let us think the legal, let's say, documents, international legal documents regulating these kind of situations. Do we have legal faculty students here? Huh? No, any legal faculty students, law faculty. You. Okay, please, what do you know about Geneva Convention? Please explain to others, what's the Geneva Convention?
These kind of situations happen.
Okay, very good, excellent. And please, when you will have free time, just read. Because every day you listen and you heard in the mass media, oh, it's violating of Geneva Convention, etc., and you have to know what is this. Actually, Geneva Convention is the main document of our Red Cross work. and at the same time the main document for all parties, all states, how to behave during the conflict. And actually it's two aspects. First of all, is a, let's say, rule of war, but I don't like this kind of terminology because war cannot be ruled, yes, it should not be at all. But we have actually, as we said, conventions that regulating external conflicts or international conflicts, and it was developed, first Geneva Convention was developed 152 years ago. 152 years. Second one, after Second World War. And then two Geneva Conventions, and in general we have 4 conventions. And plus 2 additional protocols. It was created 1977 because of this kind of internal conflicts. And until 1977, it was mostly international conflicts, and when this kind of revolution started in different parts of the world, then Red Cross, Red Crescent world faced the problem how to assist people when it's not regulated by law. Then these 2 additional protocols was developed, and now we have this kind of documents, but we will not focus on it. And let's think other challenges. We talk about disasters already, and we talk about urban people, and look, about 9 million children dying every year because of simple diseases that can be curated. But unfortunately, people die. 16 million people have drug addiction. And 1 billion people have different kind of chronic diseases. This is challenges what we have, but in daily life we are not so focused on it and not so thinking about it. And of course, when we work as a humanitarian organization, we always put these questions to whom? To decision makers, to authorities, to governments, to improve situation, to alleviate, to assist people. Migration. This is the main figures. Now, about 73 million migrants in general because of different crisis situations. 43 million because of conflicts. You see this in map of conflicts mainly. 15 million technological and natural disasters. And 15 million because of development. And you can ask, why people migrating because of development? Please. Exactly. This is a different side of the corner of development. And when we say development, we always have to think what is the humanitarian consequence of development can be. And 20 million because of such kind of protracted displacement, when people moving from one country to other country, from one region to other regions. Yes? And this is statistics. How much money states spend to overcome humanitarian consequences? You see, from 2006 to 2010, it's become twice more money that's spent by governments, by international donors to overcoming these humanitarian consequences. Then our position to approach to governments, instead of paying money for this kind of humanitarian consequences, is much better to avoid this kind of crisis situations. And now what we see, governments using money to start conflicts, and at the same time, next day they pay money to assist people. This is consequences that we already mentioned. Yes, unsecured environment, no food, no health, no entertainment, no family, no work, and isolated environment and stress. You already mentioned these factors. And this is particular our vision, how we should help, to which factors we should focus when we are assisting people. You mentioned that when states cannot assist people properly, humanitarian organizations come and assist. And what do you think about humanitarian actors? Who is this? What kind of organizations representing or including this kind of terminology, please? Who are these actors, humanitarian actors? Please. Okay. Then? Sorry? Mm-hmm. Okay. Red Cross, Red Crescent. Okay, please. Yes, which one? What kind of organizations you know? UN organizations, okay, please.
Rotary.
Rotary, okay, what is a Rotary? Can you explain more? Do you know what's
yes.
a Rotary? It's a Rotary Club, yes, you
Yeah,
know, okay.
it's a Rotary Club. It's the biggest humanitarian organization in the world. The members are leaders from communities. If you want to be a member, you should have 30 plus. And also Rotary has a club for youngsters for 18 to 30 that is called Rotaract. And one of the biggest project of Rotaries is called End Polio. You know about poliomyelitis, that it's a disease, a very important disease. The project started in 1989, and we had like more than 100 countries affected. And now, these days, we have just poliomyelitis in just 2 countries in the world. So it's one of the biggest project, and also is supported by Melinda Gates. Bill and Melinda Gates.
Thank you. Yes, mostly Rotary Club everywhere in the world, in different countries, but Rotary Club is mostly club of donors. Yes, they're just giving money. They don't do anything themselves. Yeah. Okay, actually, the project that you're implementing with partners, yes? We just identify partners, inviting them, etc. Yes, this is mostly like donors organizations who are allocating funds, yes? Ah, very good. This is something new for Rotary Club, yes? Okay. This is international humanitarian system. And if you look, a lot of organizations, a lot of different type of organizations even. And every time, more and more organizations appear in, let's say, humanitarian field. Can we say that this is a system? And you can imagine that in some particular country something happened, that all these organizations immediately come and start to assist. What happened? House. They will create themselves this kind of house. That's why we're mostly asking to have more coordinated approach. Otherwise, when UN come, Red Cross come, especially now, militaries become one of the humanitarian actors because they have, let's say, strong infrastructure. Yes, militaries, they have aircrafts, helicopters, they have medicine, they can immediately come and assist people. But in all situations, militaries can assist or not. In which situations we cannot use militaries, capacities of military structures? Yes, when it's a conflict in general. When it's disasters, there's no problem. Because when it's especially inside of one country, militaries immediately can assist people, evacuate people, etc., etc. But in case of conflict, it's already regulating by international conventions when militaries can enter or cannot enter to the country. This is legal issues, yes? And this is actually a picture that you can see in some places everywhere. This is one of the main UN organizations and Red Cross organizations. And why I am saying Red Cross organizations? Two. Which one? Okay, very good. And why I have three here actually? I will show later on. Here we have three. This emblem, and that emblem. What is differences? Okay, let's talk about it later. Now, okay, when we talk about this system, can you imagine that one group of population suffering and all organizations come with their own standards? I come with red blanket, you come with blue blanket, and then we offer. And then you can say, can you give me red blanket? I don't want to have blue one. How come? Then we will have different standards, we will create conflict among population. Yes? If, for example, wheat flour, I distribute 5 kg bag, other organization distribute 10 kg bag, and we say, okay, then distribute 10, please give me 10. And until 2001, 2002, each organization had different standards that also created problems in the field. Then in 2001, all organizations decided to have common standards. All organizations sit together and 1 year just developed common standards to have at least minimal standards together on water and sanitation, on shelter, on food, on health. Now we have common standards for all organizations, which is very useful, and we keep equality of our assistance, keep dignity among population, and not create conflict in the communities. Yes? And the humanitarian chapter of this document, first of all, indicates that the right of life is dignity, right to receive humanitarian assistance, right to protection and security, and state have to provide access to assistance. This is the main approaches that we used, and we always try to explain to authorities our position on it. This is 3 emblems. This is 3 types of organizations, as I said. All of us, we include to International Red Cross, Red Crescent movement. But we have different types of organizations, and you can see that we have International Committee of Red Cross that created in 1863. We have International Federations that created in 1919, and we have different national societies in different countries. Do you have Red Cross, Red Crescents in your countries? Who somehow met or introduced, or I don't know, with your local Red Crosses, please?
We made a partnership between Rotary Club and the Red Cross, and we make like courses for youths in high schools about the first aid in case of emergency.
Okay, which country?
Romania.
Romania, yes, Romanian Red Cross, very good organization. Okay, who else? Please.
Had the Red Cross Association there in the Federal Medical Center in a city in Nigeria is very active. So they also had like a partnership with the National Labour Congress in the country, so and the first aid groups also. And that's the first time I get like the first knowledge about what Red Cross is. I never knew what is Red Cross. It's from my dad. I saw something like that.
Okay, and now I hope during my lecture you will improve your understanding what Red Cross is, yes? Then we have here 3 organizations, actually. And if we just simply say, what is the responsibility of each organization? And you can ask, why you divided to 3 organizations? What do you think about it? Why is it divided? Okay, International Committee of Red Cross. It was actually our founder of our movement. and it was founded by Henry Dunant, Swiss businessman. During one of his trip, he faced to the consequences of conflict between Italian and French armies. And then he arranged assistance to the affected soldiers. After coming back to Geneva, he suggested to organize independent, impartial organization in each country. This is his idea, actually. And then, from 1863, in each country, Red Cross, Red Crescent organizations start to found. And in 1990, it was decided to assemble all organizations to international federation, to one international organization that will coordinate activities at international level. I represent this organization, International Federation, and our role in the world to coordinate activities to avoid this kind of house, as we said. If something happened in one country, first of all, we assist Red Cross of this country. We don't allow other Red Crosses to come without permission of local Red Cross, to have more coordinated approach. And ICRC, responsible for assisting people during the conflicts, and we are responsible during the mass population movement and emergencies. This is our divisions. This is classical division, but of course, in our daily life, as we said, the nature of crisis is changing. And now sometimes we have crisis due to military conflict, we have other social, economical consequences, and of course we're working as a one movement. And all organizations in the world, all, let's say, Red Cross, Red Crescent organizations in the world, we're working on our emblems. Yes? This is emblems that I have in my badge. What is differences between Red Cross and Red Crescent? Please. Okay, religion here, then. Other ideas, what's the Red Cross and Red Crescent? Okay, hospitals, okay. And why hospitals using Red Cross or Red Crescent? Exactly. In the conflicts, all Red Cross, Red Crescent staff will be part of military medical services to assist the armies. Yes? In case of international conflict. And what about this emblem? Did you see somewhere before this kind of emblem? Who knows this? Please. Yes, Israel, yes, about Israel. Okay, and why? Okay, if we look to the classical approach, that first of all, it was only Red Cross. And why Red Cross was recognized as an emblem for our organization? Because of flag of Switzerland. The national flag of Switzerland is the white cross on red background. And as a respect to citizens of Switzerland and Dunant, all states decided to have this mirror reflection of this flag, red cross on white background. But then, in 1896, Russian-Turkish war was 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, and military forces of Turkish army, they didn't want to use Red Cross to indicate their medical services. They said that we will use mirror reflection of our flag, Turkish flag. Then this emblem also became part of international emblem, and it was recognized by international community. Traditionally, by now it's become that all, let's say, Muslim countries use Red Crescent, all Christian countries use Red Cross, but not at all. Who's from Lebanon? You're from Lebanon. which national society you have? Cross. And how many percentage of Muslims and Christians you have in your country? Majority is Muslims, but traditionally is Red Cross. And if we say the biggest Muslim countries in the world is Indonesia, more than 200 million Muslims, but they also have Red Cross. That's why we don't have any religious differences between these emblems. And these two emblems equal to each other. Sometimes in many countries, when we look to, and people looking to the Crescent, saying, you're from Red Cross. They never say Red Cross, Red Crescent. We don't have differences on it. But as soon as our main aim to access people during the conflict, we have to respond to different, let's say, challenges and new trends, yes? And 10 years ago, some countries raised an issue that they don't want to use no Red Cross, no Red Crescent emblems because of some political, religion, and I don't know, factors. Then, diplomatic conference in 2005 is our highest border where in addition to Red Cross, Red Crescent, also representatives of states participate. It was decided to use additional emblem to those countries that don't want to use these two main. And when we talk about Israel, actually, yes, you are right, but it was approved not only because of Israel. It's few countries, for them, is opportunity to use this kind of emblem. Then we have two main emblems and one red crystal for those countries that don't want, because of different factors, use these traditional emblems. Do you have question on the emblems? And other issue is the principles. All Red Cross, Red Crescent organizations have these 7 fundamental principles. Let's see together, what is humanity? Should we additionally explain principle of humanity? Just to help people, yes? Impartiality. What does it mean to be impartial? Can you explain how people can be impartial? If we have here 3 people, one people black, one people white, one woman, one man, one child, to whom we assist first? Children, then woman, okay. Older, okay. But in general, in principles of impartiality, we assist to whom? Who most needed our assistance. We have to analyze among this different group of people who needs more assistance from us. We cannot say a priori the child, woman, elderly. Maybe this elderly person very rich. Why we need to assist him? Then we have to analyze, look, by impartial view, to which person we have to assist first. To people who need, not because of race, not because of nationality, religion, political views, because of need of people. Okay? And I have a video. It's better than explain these principles. Look, neutrality. You will see what is neutrality. You will see what is independency. You will see what is voluntary service, unity, and universality. You will see this cartoon. It's not for children, it's for us. It's very visible. And then we will come back to these principles, okay? Please look carefully, and then we will continue to discuss what's our principles. Please. Okay, how's video? I think no comments, huh? Not necessary to explain how we work in current situation in general, in case of conflicts, crisis. It is very difficult to observe and keep these principles, and sometimes countries, states, parties cannot poorly understand why. Sometimes parties asking our estimations, our evaluation on concrete situations. And can we as a Red Cross, Red Crescent give some estimations on any kind of situation? Why? Exactly. Sometimes, for example, in different situations, state authorities asking us who creating obstacles and barriers to deliver humanitarian assistance to this or that regions. What we should say? We always say that, yes, we have some problems, and we always ask all parties to provide us access. And we prefer to talk in very private, in very individual cases, even without reflecting to mass media. Sometimes mass media coming to us, can you explain what is going on in that crisis area and as other? Of course we cannot. Otherwise, we will lose the main of our principle is the trust of parties. Each party should trust us as an independent humanitarian actor that assisting people without any political estimations, okay? And actually, just a few things about conditions for our staff also. When we're talking about our work, we always should think about our staff. And in what extent our staff will be secure, then it's also a precondition for continuation of our effective activities, yes? And you look that in what kind of situations our staff and volunteers working, mostly our main human resource capacity is our volunteers. Overall world, we have maximum 500,000 staff and more than 100 million volunteers. This is proportion. The main of our work done by our volunteers. Unfortunately, in some conflict situation, we face with this kind of things. Parties not always follow international requirements. Not always Red Cross or Red Crest emblem is protective. In the beginning, yes, it was protective role of emblem. And everywhere when we put this emblem to our trucks, warehouses, buildings, stuff, it's protective. But you see that in most of the cases, it's become not protective, especially in current crisis in Syria. We have a lot of problems with Syria, and we have actually more than 50 volunteers and staff who died, who lost their life during the conflict. And this is actually very young people who died during the conflict in Syria. And of course, we trying to do some measures to overcome these kind of situations. For example, in Syria, Red Cross, Red Crescent emblems of Syrian Arab Red Crescent Society and state ambulances had similar standard. After this kind of situation, we changed. Now we have different design of cars of Syrian Arab Red Crescent. They're trying to overcome situation when other side just targeting this kind of cars, yes? And of course, psychosocial support, as you said. Everybody during the conflict and crisis under stress. General population, our volunteers are also part of general population. Of course, we have to create this kind of psychological support standards. This is factor of stress, but I think we already mentioned all of this. All these stress factors, burnout. And this is actually just a few pictures, examples how we work, what kind of equipments we have and how we are responding. This is equipment, for example, Norwegian Red Cross, all this mobile hospital equipment within these boxes. In 24 hours, in any part of the world, upon request, this hospital can be delivered. This kind of logistics with trucks and aircrafts, etc. This is our mobile telecommunication equipment. We mentioned that in many cases, communication not working, destroying or switching off by authorities. With this communication, of course, we help to population to communicate with each other. In crisis situation, in conflict situation, we're giving 3 minutes free talk to relatives, to people. They can come, they can talk by satellite, phone, by radio, etc. This is water cleaning system. This is how it works. This is medical unit. This is one big plane is a medical unit of Finnish Red Cross. This is a hospital, mobile hospital, medical center. And this is just pictures from recent situations. Camp of refugees in the Syrian refugees in Turkey. It's more than 200,000 refugees now in the territory of Turkey, and Turkish government providing all these facilities. Of course, this is ideal. You think this is very good, ordered, clean, and I will show you other pictures also how it works. And in reality, it's different situations can be. Look, this is a desert, and as my pictures from my missions, and this is also camps. Look how different. Yes, this camp and that camp. Of course, in Africa with hot temperatures, we cannot use this synthetic one, that one, yes, because it's for more cold weather. But this is, let's say, local materials, but even it's worse than first one. Look how it looks like. But I like this picture because, look, woman is woman. Despite of the fact that small tent and desert, you see, all these things, huh? And this is a dignity. This is how we see that if people in good mood, in good mental condition or not. This is very important for you also to know. This is children. Despite of that, they are very poor. They are very happy. Because the doctors, this is our doctors, they provided vaccination, and we organized school to them, etc. This is a men. Look how strong they men. Yes. And actually, this is how Red Crescent using opportunity to accompany militaries to take them from detention from other parts. They accompany to return them back. And this is actually our picture with our colleagues from peacekeeping mission from UN peacekeeping. We're always closely working, Red Cross, peacekeeping, UN, militaries, how to just coordinate our activity. This is polyclinics. Of course, it's not polyclinic like we used to go, but in the camps, it's one of the place of civilization when people used to come not only for health service, but for other, let's say, socializing, etc., etc. This is staff of polyclinic, and you see that we have doctors in place, we have paramedics, laboratory specialists, but all of them are local people. We're trying to don't use many international because it's very expensive. We try to focus on the local capacity. And of course, we're trying to involve children to different kind of festivals, etc., etc. This is how distributing food. And of course, to all of you, when you will come back to your home, please contact with your local Red Cross. Please be closer because you are now more or less prepared to these humanitarian activities, and I think you will find out some good relations with your local Red Cross and can be part of our big volunteers team. If you have questions now, we have like 5-10 minutes. Please. You mean biggest challenge for the world? For me, okay. Yeah, yes, in general, I said that the biggest challenge for for all humanitarian organizations now, for all world, that number and volume of crisis, emergency situations, and people who suffer from this, is 10, 15 times higher than it was before. And capacity of any states is not enough. Even big, rich states, their capacity is not enough to overcome to assist people. That's why we're trying to reduce, to mitigate. This is the main challenge. How to explain to decision makers to not create this problem rather than to create problem and then to solve it. That's why in addition to response, we already mentioned in the presentation that humanitarian diplomacy, how to explain, how to persuade people, decision makers. This is the main challenge, as I see. And as much as possible, we're trying to make preventive activities rather than response. This is our approach, what we are trying to do. Please.
Madina Idrisova, North Caucasus Institute branch of RANEPA. Thank you for your lecture. It was really interesting. If I want to, and my question, if I want to work for your company or another humanitarian company, which 3 advices will you give me? And had I to have any special qualities to work for these organizations?
Yeah. Actually, person who want to have or to be joined with our organization, only one quality, to be ready to help people. We don't have any University of Red Cross, we don't have any faculties where we're receiving people with special diploma. Yes, with special particular positions we have to have people with diploma of medical specialists, engineers, etc. But in general, our activities mainly related to concrete focus on, let's say, assisting people. And if any person joining organization, you can easily have trainings there. That's why I suggest to all of you to visit our website, International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent, and in the right top corner, you have our internal site, FedNet. Then you can easily in 2 minutes register, and we have online trainings there. It's a lot of online trainings on different subjects. You can pass it, and your international diploma or certificate will be printed for you. You can include it to your resume and just submit in any kind of positions, depend of this job qualification. And from which region you said?
North Caucasus,
And which republic?
Chechen Republic.
Ah, very good. I just last week was in Chechnya, in Grozny. Please visit your branch in Chechen Republic and tell that I recommend you to go there and to work together with Chechen branch of Russian Red Cross.
Thank you.
Okay, I just recently, because it was big flooding in June, and we visited different areas of your beautiful republic. Please don't forget when you return back, just go to local Red Cross, okay?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Silvia. I would like to make three little questions. First one, could you please go back to that concept of humanitarian diplomacy, like who would they be working for, and is it something of the states or just of the NGOs? Then I would like to know your opinion about what's the role of NGOs in 21st century conflicts, in the sense that, well, as we said, it's not about two states fighting each other, or not even like states, it's like terrorist groups that are not localized. And
we say parties.
Parties, yeah.
It's more neutral, yes? When we say opposition, government, it's not neutral.
Yeah,
parties.
What
Yes,
I
for
mean,
us, everybody is equal.
but especially that parties now start to be like not identified. They are like deslocalized, and well, and then the third question, how do you make to recruit people? Because I mean, the problem about volunteering is that if you're doing volunteering and you're not getting a salary, how long can you be volunteering in your life? I mean, you cannot be volunteering all your life, in the sense that, well, you can, right? But if you also, like, how to find the equilibrium? I don't know if you follow me.
Yes.
But because that's, I think it's a really fulfilling activity. But if you also want to, at some point, be able to, like, buy a house and have a family and stuff, you also need some stability in economical terms. So it's good when you're young, but so how do you do it in Red Cross? Do you have people hired? And
Yes, thank you. Let's start from voluntary service, from your last question. Yes, actually, as I said, the main part of our team are volunteers. But yes, regarding to volunteerism, we can talk a lot, because a lot of discussions going now in each country, everywhere in the world. Volunteers is not mean of exploitation of people. We cannot say, oh, you're volunteers, please do free of charge in the whole world. Yes, and come every day and work for us free of charge. Of course not. The main approach of our voluntary service, that each person can come to organization and say, okay, I can spend 1 hour per week for organization, free of charge. This is my contribution. And you come and organization give you special task. If necessary, this organization train you. This is contribution of organization to you. You just can increase and improve your qualification. You can receive trainings, etc. That's why I said that this kind of online training is also our contribution to our volunteers. They can easily enter and pass our trainings. Yes. Third, when people come to us as volunteers, yes, you spending your time, yes, but we never allow you to spend your money for us, even to reach from your home to the office. Why you should pay your transport yourself just to come and help organization? Sometimes in a situation when we recruiting volunteers, we considering some transport costs, etc., some incentives to volunteers, because of course volunteers should not use their own money to work for us. This is the main, yes, and but for future, yes, of course, if person would like to be more professional in our work, then of course you can apply to the position, as I explained, to be part of organization, and we always recommend people to have contact with local branch. Please, you have, and
I have something to add. Volunteers are not paid, but not because they are worthless, because they are priceless.
And for your first question, this is how we work as a, let's say, humanitarian diplomacy. Look, what Red Cross have? Red Cross have only principles and emblems. We don't have any, let's say, a mechanism of pressure, etc., to governments. We can only explain why governments should change these things or that thing, why they should provide any kind of conditions. And this is our main role, in addition to assist. Yes, lobby is more business approach. Yes, we don't like this kind of lobby. We're advocating interest of our people. If our beneficiaries, of course, they cannot reflect their opinion, we're reflecting their opinion on behalf of them. This is our main approaches. Please. Any other questions? I think we overspend our time. Yes, if any burning hot questions, please. Everybody now thinking about our first need about food, because it's lunchtime now, yes? And of course we should not just misuse it. Huh? Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.